Now, Desiree has been trying to get in contact with Drew to talk about next weekend and kind of figure out where to go from there, and he has not responded to any messages nor phone calls. And per the court paperwork, he is supposed to speak with her by phone or text, so that is something that was also court ordered, and he's not doing that. People keep asking, what happens if he doesn't bring, Deshawn, or they don't go along with this? Well, when they go back on July 10th, that's the whole point of this. If they are not doing these things, then the judge can pretty much put, be like, this is exactly what's going to happen at that point. And it would give Desiree a right to ask for basically full custody.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to tell you right now that Stephanie Thompson and Drew Jenkins are going to bolt. They're literally going to pack up and move. That's my prediction right now. And talking to Arlita, I guess he hasn't been answering any text messages. He's not trying to give Desiree any chance to maybe talk to Deshawn on the phone before they have their meeting on Sunday. Like, he's not being cooperative at all. And then just the vibes of Stephanie's videos of how she's saying that their iCloud's been hacked and there's been weird people at the motel. They pulled the kids out of school. Like, things have gotten sticky for them. Like, with I believe Arlita has another court date coming up with Drew in July, and then they have the other court date with Desiree coming up. I'm telling you right now, they're going to pack those kids up and they're going to go on the run.
The resilient Jenkins family is finally making moves, literally planning to leave behind their cramped one-room motel. But hold up, the timing of this sudden relocation feels off, like there's something deeper brewing behind the scenes. It doesn't seem like just a simple quest for more space. Nah. It's got a much darker, more strategic undertone, like Stephanie and her crew are prepping for a quick exit from the state, and maybe even trying to sneak their whole online drama show along with them. Let's break down why this move has everyone talking. Everything kicked off right after the court handed Desiree a big win, the right to have scheduled, official visits with her son, Deshawn. But it didn't stop there. The court also ruled that Desiree and Drew could communicate directly through phone calls and texts, all to make those visits run smoother and less stressful for their son. Sounds fair, right? But for Stephanie, this was a total game changer, and not in a good way. Stephanie has been controlling the entire narrative around Deshawn for a long time. From who gets to talk to him, to where he stays, to when and how those interactions happen, it's been all under her thumb. Now, with the court giving some of that control back to Desiree, Stephanie probably felt like she was losing her grip. You can almost hear the jealousy and fear bubbling under the surface, fear of losing her child, fear of being exposed, fear of no longer being the center of attention in this messy saga. And whatever it was inside Stephanie, it snapped hard. Not long after the court's decision, her videos started taking a dark, paranoid turn. These weren't your usual updates, these were cryptic, filled with ominous warnings about strange cars lurking near their motel, about how her family wasn't safe anymore. It felt less like casual online venting and more like she was setting the stage to justify something big, like she was preparing her audience for a major exit.
Honestly, full transparency, I'm a little beat, I'm not gonna lie. And I'll do my best to put this voiceover on this video, but recently we've been noticing a fluctuation with cars in and out, people staying here that just don't seem to be the type of people that would even be from this area, especially with my iCloud recently being hacked and 4 years of my data being wiped. I mean, we're talking 4,000 videos and photos. Memories back from 2021 all the way to current of my kids, our family, and no doubt all the content that I put the work into these last few years. First opened my iCloud to find all of that gone, it hit me pretty hard, especially because I can't help but wonder why anyone would want any of that information. Why you take the time to get into somebody's iCloud when knowing full well that's something you can definitely take a legal route, and I'm going to do so.
She even went so far as to describe how mysterious cars kept pulling in and out of their motel parking lot, saying the place was suddenly crawling with strangers, people she didn't recognize and claimed didn't look like they should be there. To her, these strangers were a threat, watching her family, making her children unsafe. But let's be real here, motels are literally designed for people passing through. New faces showing up daily is just part of the business. So, was this really a safety issue? Or was Stephanie painting a scary picture just to justify why they had to leave?
I'm sorry, but I'm going to tell you right now that Stephanie Thompson and Drew Jenkins are going to bolt. They're literally going to pack up and move. That's my prediction right now. And talking to Arlita, I guess he hasn't been answering any text messages. He's not trying to give Desiree any chance to maybe talk to Deshawn on the phone before they have their meeting on Sunday. Like, he's not being cooperative at all. And then just the vibes of Stephanie's videos of how she's saying that their iCloud's been hacked and there's been weird people at the motel. They pulled the kids out of school. Like, things have gotten sticky for them. Like, with I believe Arlita has another court date coming up with Drew in July, and then they have the other court date with Desiree coming up. I'm telling you right now, they're going to pack those kids up and they're going to go on the run. Stephanie cannot handle not having control. Something weird is going on in that motel. There's some sort of neglect or abuse going on. And Deshaun now being able to see his mother and see a counselor and things like that is going to basically bolster everything that's happening. Like, there's no longer the control. They can't, something weird's going on, whether it's rugs, something. And I think that they know that Deshaun will literally be the downfall of everything. Whatever that, you know, when people are just like bad people and they have, or tweakers or something, and they have like some, they're trying to hide whatever's going on. They isolate themselves and their kids from everyone else because they know the kids are going to talk. That's what's happening right now. That's what's happening right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they're gone by next week. Gone. And y'all keep saying like, well, they only have one car. What has stopped them to move for the first time? Like one car that doesn't fit them all. That ain't gonna stop shit. That's not gonna stop shit. These two are determined to continue whatever the fuck they got going on, and they're determined to not have anybody, including the law, tell them how they should live their life. I'm gonna tell you right now, they're gonna bolt. They're gonna pack up and move and try to go off grid and still make their little.
Then, things got even more suspicious with her "I got hacked" story. Stephanie claimed her iCloud was breached, and she lost over 4,000 photos and videos from the last 4 years, what she called precious memories.
Why you take the time to get into somebody's iCloud when knowing full well that's something you can definitely take a legal route, and I'm going to do so. I'm not good with any technical terms on that. I'm just saying that's something that is not okay. You have access to the videos that I post, the photos that I post, but directly hacking into my personal information, that's just not okay. Even more transparency here, and I told my man that I was going to say this, so it's not like I'm hurting any feelings.
Gone without any backup or chance of recovery. Right when the court ruling was fresh, and when old videos or posts could be pulled up to show her past behavior on the show, suddenly all her content disappears. Convenient, huh? Was this a real hack, or a deliberate wipe to erase anything that might damage her image? Some say it's just another performance, an attempt to play the victim and make it look like she's being targeted by some shadowy forces beyond her control. Either way, Stephanie managed to put herself right back in the center as the one who's suffering, the one under attack. And now, out of nowhere, Stephanie announces they're house hunting. She says the kids need more room, especially Deshaun, who's growing fast and deserves his own bedroom, a quiet space, a little breathing room away from the cramped motel life. Sounds sweet, right? But here's where the story gets sticky. If space was such a big deal, why didn't she mention it before? Why only bring it up right after the court ruled in Desiree's favor?
Stephanie is making it sound like on her TikTok they came up with this idea on their own, but Stephanie, you were just saying not even a month ago how an apartment is worse than a motel, so we know it wasn't her idea. Hopefully that is what happened. It's sad that somebody would have to force you to be an adult and actually be a parent. And also, too, isn't it crazy? We've been telling you this all along. You've been calling us haters, saying we're weird, saying we don't know how to mind our business. But now, the option doesn't sound too crazy. It doesn't sound too insane. The option is on the table. But she did talk about summer plans and doing things for the kids. I'm telling y'all now, when she can't find a spot that's big enough for all of them, when she comes on here and shows her shortcomings for being a parent after she has been making so much money on TikTok, when she comes on here and puts the kids by the door again, because she's probably going to fail, because she's probably just going to pick any and everything, because what it sounds like is they're only doing this because it was said in court. When she comes on here and does that, her excuse is going to be summer plans for the kids, to give the kids a better environment. They still deserve to grow up and have good times and have things that I never got to have. I'm telling y'all now, it's going to be an excuse that she's going to use. She said it in the video because she wanted y'all to hear it one time so it can ring in y'all ears. So when she comes on here and does it, we're not surprised. Now y'all are looking into apartments, but when we said, hey, even an apartment would just be something to give the kids a different environment or at least something better, she was literally like, it was a horrible idea. But now all of a sudden, apartments can't be too bad. I've been looking for some, or just better other housing for the kids. Like, come on now, girl. Like, she uses those kids as her anchor, as every excuse she has for being the shit human being she is. Like her and Drew, every single time.
It's starting to look like this move isn't just about needing a bigger place for the kids. It's about avoiding a new reality, a reality where Stephanie no longer has full control. Maybe it's about running away from the consequences, from the court ruling, from the messy drama that's catching up to her. The idea of moving out suddenly doesn't sound so outlandish anymore. It's definitely a possibility now. Stephanie recently talked about summer plans, making it seem like they're focused on doing what's best for the kids. But honestly, if she can't find a suitable place for her family after cashing in on TikTok for so long, and after openly sharing her struggles as a parent, that raises serious questions. She didn't just casually drop the move in the works idea. Instead, she broke it down as if it were part of a well-thought-out strategy. Stephanie emphasized that they're patiently holding on to money, waiting for the perfect moment, avoiding rash decisions. So, the real question is, What triggered this sudden rush to find a new home now? Stephanie claims they've pinpointed a neighborhood filled with plenty of housing options and quality schools. She even insists that this new location will offer their children the best environment to thrive. But here's where things get murky: she refuses to reveal any details about where this place actually is. No city name, no street, no clues whatsoever. When pressed for specifics, Stephanie cites safety concerns as the reason for secrecy. But who exactly are they protecting their kids from? Is it those strangers that she described as lurking around the motel parking lot, the same ones she said made her family feel unsafe? Or is this just another tactic to keep Desiree completely in the dark about their whereabouts? When you connect the dots, the truth starts to emerge. This isn't about securing more space or a better future for the kids. It looks like a calculated move, dressed up as a positive change, aimed at disappearing without a trace and making it nearly impossible for Desiree to locate her child. This is about control and nothing else. More than anything, it feels like they're prepping to vanish all over again. To add fuel to the fire, Stephanie and Drew have completely cut off communication. No texts, no calls, no replies, radio silence. This isn't just cold or disrespectful, it's a blatant violation of the court's order. The court clearly gave Desiree the right to see Deshawn every weekend, but those visits rely heavily on open communication between the parents. Drew was explicitly instructed to stay in touch to coordinate these visits, yet he has gone utterly silent, ignoring calls and messages. Desiree, who's been trying to do everything by the book, has even reached out to her legal team, explaining she's repeatedly attempted to contact Drew with zero response.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to let you know I just spoke with Desiree. She asked me to post this video, so here's a couple of updates for you, just in case you don't see the one from her advocate. So Desiree did not have visitation today. It's next Sunday was the first date that was selected. She also is asking that people stop saying that they're going to flee the state. She really doesn't believe that's the case. Most of us don't either. It's very possible that they move motels or things like that, but if they flee the state, we're talking about very serious charges that I don't believe Stephanie nor Drew would want, and they know that, so I really highly doubt that that's what's happening. Is it possible? Of course anything's possible, but let's be real, it wouldn't be that hard to find. Now, Desiree has been trying to get in contact with Drew to talk about next weekend and kind of figure out where to go from there, and he has not responded to any messages nor phone calls. And per the court paperwork, he is supposed to speak with her by phone or text, so that is something that was also court ordered, and he's not doing that. People keep asking, what happens if he doesn't bring, Deshawn, or they don't go along with this? Well, when they go back on July 10th, that's the whole point of this. If they are not doing these things, then the judge can pretty much be like, this is exactly what's going to happen at that point. And it would give Desiree a right to ask for basically full custody. Now, this is not what anybody wanted. While we were worried this was something that would happen and they wouldn't, answer like they had done for years, this is literally just showing exactly what they did to her for the last 3 years. It's just evidence that they can use at court. But again, this isn't what we wanted. This isn't what we wanted. We wanted them to reunify. We wanted them to get back together, her to see Deshawn to be able to see her. Stephanie is very confused on how things work. She thinks that she can talk about it. You can't. She thinks that she has a voice in this. She doesn't. She's not his mother. And she thinks that if, they talk to Deshawn and Deshawn doesn't want to do it, that they don't have to. And that is not true at all. So Stephanie, I hope you see this, because legally you have to bring Deshawn to those visits. Okay? It has to happen. I personally think Stephanie is afraid of what he may say, but girl, enough is enough. Let him see his mom. Let them have this time. And I just pray that things get better for Desiree, because I know that her heart is just broken and all she wants is to see her son. We will keep everybody updated, but guys, be very careful. Also, people are telling her to call the police and do these things. Guys, calling the police is not going to help anything. It's just going to traumatize these children. And again, we don't want them to get kicked out of this motel. We're talking about 5 innocent kids that are just bystanders in this whole situation, and getting them kicked out of there is not going to help anything, okay? And having police show up there constantly isn't going to help anything. And as much as we would love for all of this to be over tomorrow, we kind of at this point have to go along with what's going on in the court system. So I know it's hard, but please be patient, and as we can update you, we will. And just send all your love to Desiree. She asked me to post this. I wanted to make sure I got it up, and now your girl's going back to bed, but I will probably be live tomorrow night, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
This pattern isn't new. Before Stephanie's involvement, Drew used to respond promptly. But ever since Stephanie took control, the communication line has been completely severed. For outsiders, it may seem like a minor issue, but when a mother with legal visitation rights can't even get a simple message back, it's much more serious. This crosses into emotional manipulation and parental alienation, and courts take that very seriously. Stephanie's jealousy and need for control have been apparent from the start. She's done everything she can to push Desiree out, from blocking calls to shutting down co-parenting attempts, all while portraying herself as the only competent parent. Now that the court has restored Desiree's official rights with weekend visits and direct communication, Stephanie is clearly losing her grip on the situation. She knows her control is slipping. So what's the game plan? Cut off all communication again, freeze Desiree out, sow confusion and chaos, then pack up and disappear without telling anyone where they're going. Sound familiar? Stephanie's heart is set on fleeing the state with Deshawn, but she hopes everyone involved understands just how serious and risky such a move would be. She believes they know that running away would be illegal, dangerous, and emotionally devastating for all parties, especially the child. She still holds on to the hope that deep down, Stephanie and Drew will think twice before making a choice they can never undo. That they'll consider Deshawn's future and realize that violating a custody order isn't a gamble worth taking. But let's be honest, has she really seen how far they're willing to go? This is the same pair who treat court orders like loose guidelines, ignoring rulings, and spinning their side on social media whenever it suits them. They dodge legal summons, submit false paperwork, and vanish whenever consequences catch up. Desiree wants to believe they won't run, that they'll stay grounded. But the truth is, history speaks louder than hope. Because Stephanie and Drew don't just disregard the rules, they shatter them, sweep up the wreckage, and then play the victim card like pros. Take Drew, for example. He lied to the court about his employment to avoid child support payments. When caught and held in contempt, he suddenly claimed medical issues, skipped court hearings, and now has an active arrest warrant. Instead of facing the music, he faked documents to cover it up. And driving without a valid license? No problem for him. Clearly, Drew isn't afraid of breaking the law. Stephanie was ordered to stop posting about Deshawn online, but less than a day later, she painted a vivid social media picture of their life anyway. Their blatant disregard for the law begs the question, what's stopping them now? If they follow through with this plan, the consequences could be severe. Moving Deshawn out of state without notifying Desiree or the court is a major offense. It could lead to contempt charges with jail time of up to 6 months, daily fines, or worse. Custody could be re-evaluated, possibly shifting primary custody away from them. Authorities can enforce visitation rights by involving law enforcement. And if Drew is suspected of hiding Deshawn, criminal charges like custodial interference or kidnapping could be filed, felonies carrying fines in the hundreds of thousands. Legal fees could pile up too, with Drew potentially responsible for Desiree's attorney costs. Plus, custody orders can be enforced across state lines, making escape even harder. All this turmoil just to keep a child away from his mother. Stephanie's reckless plan threatens to unravel everything, and it's clear she's not thinking about the fallout, legal, emotional, or financial. Her focus is on control at any cost. And Drew. He's the one who'll face the legal heat. As the official guardian, he risks losing his rights, freedom, and even custody if they break the rules. This chaotic situation has never truly been about Deshawn's welfare. It's about Stephanie controlling the narrative, and she's ready to let Drew bear the consequences to keep it that way. So, what happens next? Stephanie keeps dropping hints about a move, but hasn't revealed any details. Will she ever inform Desiree or keep her in the dark? Will Drew keep dodging court orders and blocking communication? If they do disappear, what then? Share your thoughts below. Do you think they'll go through with it, or will the law catch up before they can? Don't forget to like and subscribe for updates, because this saga is far from over.